Hey everybody, Eric here. I want to welcome you to another episode of Our Story, Our Time online. Here at 2-8, we do music with a mission, and for the last few years, we've been using music to fight the opioid epidemic here in our home state, Indiana. We do that on two platforms. One is the online show that you're seeing right now, but the other is through a live video-driven rock concert experience that took us over a year to build in partnership with multiple videographers and local artists and members of healthcare and the recovery community. We're excited to share that with you tonight. As we are still under a stay-home ban here in Indiana until tomorrow, I'm not able to have guests come into the studio with me, so we thought this would be the best way to spend our time together tonight. One of the questions I get asked a lot is who is this concert for? Who is this show for? Is it just for the recovery community? And the answer is no, this show is for everyone. We want to educate every single family we can in Indiana as to what is going on and how we can play a part in bringing the change that we need in our communities. I love our state. I grew up in a small town called Portland, Indiana, between Muncie and Fort Wayne. I graduated from Indiana University. I am proud to be a Hoosier, and I cannot wait for the day that we have zero overdoses in Indiana. A few things I want to mention before we run the concert is if you're watching this with someone who is under the age of 12, some of the imagery may not be appropriate for them. We wanted to tell this story as truthfully as we could through the lens of people who have lived it. And so I want to let you know that first. And secondly, I just want to let you know this is something that is personal to me and to my family. There's going to be some vulnerable footage that we're showing tonight. This was from one of our last concerts that we recorded live. We planned on just using this footage for marketing, but we decided since we can't perform this live, we want to share it with you online. All of the music you're hearing is being recorded live, and so we didn't have a chance to go in the studio and make it perfect. So it's going to be a very raw, real concert experience, and we just think it's important to share with you, and I would ask that you would share it with anyone you can online. We want to get this message out as far as we can. All right, so we're going to go ahead and run this show. This is the live video-driven concert experience produced by 2-8 Ministries, Our Story, Our Time. Here we go.
In a small town, and I live in a small town. I'll probably die in a small town. All the small communities, and all my friends are so small town. My parents live in the same small town. My job is a small town, provides little opportunities. Educated in a small town, taught to fear Jesus in a small town. Used to daydream in that small town. Another boring romantic, that's me. I've seen it all in a small town. Had myself a boy in a small town. I met an LA doll, but I do that small town. She's small town, just like me. I cannot forget where it is I come from, and I forget people who love me. Yeah, I can be myself here in a small town. People let me be just who I wanna be. to myself, I didn't want you around. Those pretty faces always made you stand out in the crowd. Someone picked you from the bunch, and one glance was all it took. Now it's just too late for me, take a second look. Oh baby, give me one more chance. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh darling, I was blind to let you go, but now since I see you in his arms, I want you back, yes I do now. I want you back, ooh baby, I want you back, yeah, 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 yeah. I want you back, nah, nah, nah. Trying to live without your love, like one long sleepless night. Let me show you, girl, that I know wrong from right. In every street you walk on, I leave tear stains on the ground. Following a girl I didn't even want around. Oh baby, all I need is one more chance. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh darling, I was blind to let you go, but now since I see you in his arms, I want you back.
Last year, we lost at least 64,000 Americans to overdoses. That's 175 lost American lives per day. That's 7 lost lives per hour in our country. Drug overdoses are now the leading cause of unintentional death in the United States by far. More people are dying from drug overdoses today than from gun homicides and motor vehicles combined. These overdoses are driven by a massive increase in addiction to prescription painkillers, heroin, and other opioids. Last year, almost 1 million Americans used heroin, and more than 11 million abused prescription opioids. The United States is by far the largest consumer of these drugs, using more opioid pills per person than any other country by far in the world.
Physicians were really struggling to get their patients off because they had really no other good option to treat pain.
somehow I was able to finish college in 4 years, but I found my solution to all of life's problems in opiates and other mind-altering substances.
You know, when these drugs launched, there were no better drugs for pain management. Our brain actually has opioid receptors, and the body produces opioids. Opioids are great for the regulation of pain, for the regulation of mood. They have antidepressant effects. But when you flood that receptor with overuse of an opioid, synthetic opioid, dopamine is released in the body, and dopamine helps us regulate our pleasure centers, if you will. So we feel euphoric and we feel happy. And, when patients' brain chemistry changes, that becomes their new normal.
I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've even got the month of May. I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl, my girl.
I remember I used my first opiate when I got my wisdom teeth pulled, and within 3 days I had taken the entire prescription.
The more you take it, the more the body needs. So if you start at a certain dose, maybe a month later, that dose doesn't work for you anymore. So you're going back to your doctor and you're saying, wow, I'm still in pain. So at the time, the doctor would give a higher dose.
And I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl, my girl.
So when you introduce a synthetic opioid and then you take it away, the body goes through massive withdrawal. They consider it to be the flu times 10, and this is about a 5 to 10 day process that happens. Patients explain it as their bones are breaking. So now you've gotten a drug where you've become addicted to it. You love the way that it makes you feel. You want to take it away, but your brain chemistry's changed, and if you do take it away, then your body feels like it's dying.
Over time, you turn into somebody that you don't even recognize. For me, I would say that one of the things that I value more than anything is my family, as well as helping other people. I think that I'm a pretty altruistic guy. But when I'm faced with the possibility of being in withdrawal for several days, I will take every single one of the things that I value and I will stomp on them. People will steal from their family. They'll rob people. They'll do things that could put them at risk of losing their children. And that is certainly my story. There are so many lines that I said that I would never cross that I ended up crossing in my own addiction. And some days I would look in the mirror and I wouldn't even recognize the person that was looking back at me.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. I ought to leave the young thing alone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away.
name is Stefan, and I was hooked to opioids for 10 years. We would get excited if we were getting our wisdom teeth taken out or any other thing because we knew we were getting pills. It became more of a focus. I knew I was overdoing it. When I look back on it, I can tell that I was becoming addicted little by little. So we're at the football field that we used to play football on here at Taylor. I didn't finish. I was about a semester short. I couldn't do anything anymore. I was so ashamed. I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. I broke into people's apartments. I was living for nothing. I was up all night. I was sick. I was throwing up bile. I was just pale. I felt really depressed. I felt really skinny. I just felt dead inside. I remember on this practice field over here, we were just in the middle of practice one time. I was withdrawing and I couldn't stop thinking about them. And I knew I had some back in the dorm, and so I just pretended like I had somewhere to be. And I left practice in the middle of practice, opened my and I opened my drawer and just looked at them. And I knew it was such a dark thing. And I just took a bunch and just sat there and waited for the withdrawals to go away.
My name's Mary Randall, and I'm a mother of an addict. This is my son, Dustin, and this is when he graduated the National Guard. Actually, he was a normal kid. He went to elementary school, was a halfway decent kid as far as grades. Junior high, about the same. He started getting into football. He played football in high school. In his early 20s, we noticed that he was acting different, and we found out he was taking pills, and it started off as normal use. He did really, really well. We got him an apartment. He moved into the apartment and got back with an ex-girlfriend, and slowly but surely got back into the drugs. I was his property manager, and the police showed up at the apartment complex, and so I had to evict my own son from his home. That's what I thought was going to be the hardest day of my life. March 21st, 2016 at 5:35 p.m. is when I got the worst phone call of my life. That's the day that I found out he was on heroin. And they were flying him to Fort Wayne because he was in a coma. 10:22 a.m., my son passed away. He never came out of the coma.
When you try your best but you don't succeed, when you get what you want but not what you need, when you feel so tired but you can't sleep, stuck in reverse, and the tears come streaming down your face, when you lose something you can't replace, when you love someone but it goes to waste, could it be worse? Lights will guide
I remember a few years ago, my mom called and told me that they found heroin in the middle school that I went to when I was a kid. And I thought, heroin, that's like what people use under bridges in Manhattan. Like, that doesn't happen in Indiana, especially doesn't happen in Portland, Indiana. And it wasn't more than just a few years later that my niece overdosed. This isn't that news story to me anymore. It's my story, and it's my family's story. And we don't have kids. Like, it's like the closest thing to my oldest daughter that I have. So it's everywhere, and it's affecting a lot of us, and it hurts really bad. And the stigma of addiction that we're talking about tonight is so real, because when you grow up in a small town, everybody knows everybody. And once you're labeled as a drug addict, or they think you're a moral degenerate. It's like, oh, I was taught all through school growing up with DARE campaigns and stuff that you don't hang out with those people. You protect yourself from them. You stay away from them. That's who they are. You cannot tell me that my niece is not amazing, that she's not beautiful, that she is incredibly talented. She's one of my favorite human beings on the planet, and I almost lost her. How is she going to beat this, especially without help? And I was so proud of her the day that she told us that she needed help. And as a musician, I'm not like the people you're hearing speak tonight. I don't have the ability to implement policies or, go move, city leaders. I'm a musician. I have a guitar, and I have friends that are great musicians. And so we decided, let's at least start telling our story. This story is unique to the United States. It's not just something that's happening all around the world. It's our story, and I can't believe how far it's gone. And so tonight we're here to honor the families like mine and some of the families who have been affected by this. And some people are fortunate enough to have my story, where my niece is still alive today, and she's been 6 months sober since last month. What's even cooler is this is grassroots. I mean, we're just trying to figure this out like the rest of us, trying to do what we can with what we have. And got a chance to meet with Carrie and Mark from Know the O campaign. You got to talk to these guys afterwards and to learn more about what they're doing. And it was at that meeting, as soon as we got done having coffee together, that's when I got the text that my niece had celebrated 6 months. So I'm so proud of her right now. And I know that I'm not alone in this room. And so I want us in this space together to do something. We gave you a glow stick when you came in tonight. I'm just curious, because statistically, I can't be the only person who's been affected by this in this room. And I just want us tonight to be able to raise up a glow stick. If you've been affected, your family or your friend has been affected, let's break the stigma together tonight and be ready to be the friends and the family that they need us to be. Yeah. This is our story, guys. This is our time. That's incredible. And if you don't mind, we're in a church. I'd love to just say a blessing over these lives. And some of them have been lost, and some of them are still living. And there's hope for change. So I'm just going to ask you to bow your head with me as we just acknowledge these lives. Jesus, thank you that you never give up on us. You never stop pursuing us. You wanted to reconcile us to your Father and to reconcile us to each other. And that's so hard. If we're going to reconcile people back into their community, it means that we need to be able to stand next to someone struggling with substance use disorder and be able to say, no, they're with me. We need to be ready to invite these people to our homes, to invite them back into their community. And it starts with us. So I just want to take a moment of silence to honor the lives in this room that are represented by that glow stick. And now I pray for change, Jesus, that you would begin sweeping change across this state. All these incredible efforts we get to hear about tonight, that you would start waking people up to this, and that you would tell a different story, and that this could be used to bring us back together. There's too many churches that are divided. There's too many groups and organizations that are divided. This is an opportunity for us to come together and to really need each other. So I pray for unity for our state, and I pray for change, Jesus. And I thank you so much for the people who are brave enough to come here tonight and to share their story with us too. We love you. Amen.
So I was driving back to Indy, and I was just so sick of fighting, the addiction, and I mean, it just controlled everything. I just had to pull over because I was crying so hard, and I told Jesus, I was like, man, I surrender, and I was like yelling, I'm sorry. So it was a whole different experience from then on out when I would mess up. Now I've been clean from everything for about 6 years. On Good Friday is the anniversary. It was just randomly on Good Friday that happened.
I ended up losing my job, and about a year after he died, almost to the day, a friend of mine said, hey, I have a friend that wants to start a Heroin Anonymous meeting in Anderson. She doesn't know how to start. Will you help her? I look at it this way. I couldn't save my son. I didn't know how to save my son. I wasn't educated enough. I thought once a druggie, always a druggie. I thought if you did drugs, you were a druggie and you were an addict, and that's it. And that's not the case. The disease takes over that person's body, and they don't know how to stop. They need help stopping. So I've got to do what I can do to help somebody else, so another mother or father or brother or sister doesn't have to go through this.
You're drawn to healthcare because you want to help people. And, I left healthcare to raise 3 daughters. And when we had the opportunity to go back to help fight this battle with the bridge device, it was a no-brainer for me, because I really believe, I have a strong connection to God, and I believe that these are God's people, and they are broken. And they're not just broken because they chose to take a drug. The addiction is powerful, and it's multifaceted. And I believe that if I have the ability to help a patient, then that's what God, wants me to do, because these are his people and they need help.
The reason that I don't use today is because it's not necessary today. I have a new way of living and thinking and behaving that doesn't require the use of any mind-altering substance. I have new ways of handling life's ups and downs. And because of that, it's allowed me to be a professional, help others, help the nearly 4,000 patients that I've had in the past 3.5 years, be a graduate student, and eventually finish and be some kind of a healthcare leader and really take charge of this thing.
It changed everything once I realized, the Lord's not frowning upon me. Like, he literally came here for people like me that were lost, that were hurting, because he knows this world's a mess sometimes, and that's why he's here. And so I didn't think that at all. I just thought, he's the judge. He's telling me what I'm doing wrong, and that wasn't it at all. And so once I developed that relationship and learned my identity, who I was in him, that's truly what changed it. I married my wife. When I call her and it goes to her voicemail, I never hang up. I just listen to make sure. I listen to her saying my last name, because I can't believe that that's my life, that I have her. And we have a 6-month-old son now, and it just blows my mind, because I can think about, just not that long ago, I didn't care if I was alive or not. Stop believing lies that people won't understand and they won't care, and there's nothing to be ashamed about.
We love you. Your parents love you, your brothers, your sisters, your grandparents. Reach out to somebody and tell them that you have a problem and that you would like them to support you and help you.
Lay down your burdens, lay down your shame. And all who are broken, lift up your face. Oh, wonder come, oh, you're not too far. So lay down your hurt, lay down your heart, come as you are. There's hope for the hopeless and all those who've strayed. Come sit at the table taste the grace. There is a rest for the weary, a rest that endures. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can cure. So lay down your burdens, lay down your shame, and all who are broken, lift up your face. Has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. So lay down your burdens and lay down your shame. Oh, who are broken, lift up your time to think about what's coming next. Maybe it's time to let go of what went wrong. Yeah, you've been here so long, just thinking it over. Oh, you've been here so long. It's time to move along. Tell me where you wanna go from here. Oh, you have stayed, you've stayed here for a while. And what kind of friend would I be? Would I be? Tell me, what kind of friend would I be if I never, ever, ever helped you move along? I wanna help you move along. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to join us tonight for Our Story, Our Time online. If you are someone who right now is struggling with substance use disorder and you're looking for resources, you're looking for answers as to how you can do the work of recovery at home in quarantine still, please be sure to check out episode 1 from last week. Amy Brinkley did an amazing job of laying out what the state has for websites, phone numbers. It is all there. Please be sure to check that out. If you're a family that maybe has not been directly affected by this, I would encourage you to continue to educate yourself. A great book to read that our team has all read is called Dreamland. This is going to be a much more in-depth explanation as to how we got to be where we are as a country dealing with an opioid epidemic. And finally, we'd like to hear your feedback. Let us know what you thought of the show. And if you have questions for us, we'd love to hear from you directly. You can email me at eric@two8ministries.com. If you'd like to know more about 2-8 Ministries or support the work that we do, be sure to check out our website. We look forward to seeing you next week, 7 p.m. Thursday night, for episode 3 of Our Story, Our Time online.